She showed up at my farm with a stopwatch and a crowd, giving me 5 minutes to turn in my kid or she'd call the police. She had no clue who I actually was. Marla Jennings, the head of our so-called neighborhood alliance, had a bullhorn and a posse of nosy neighbors filming everything on their phones. They claimed my son was a troublemaker. Marla had already forced 3 families out, snatching up their land with lawsuits and intimidation. Now she was coming for mine. But the moment I opened that gate and revealed who I really was, her smug look dropped fast. Turns out, threatening a parent is a bad idea, especially when that parent is Officer Dean Calloway, Deputy Chief of the Pine Creek County Sheriff's Office. The morning had started normal enough. I was sipping coffee on the porch when I noticed people gathering near the front fence. There she was, Marla, marching up the gravel drive in brand new heels, barking orders into her bullhorn. Behind her were maybe 20 people, recording everything like they were on a reality show. Beside me, my 13-year-old son, Eli, looked nervous. He knew Marla blamed him for the animals that supposedly destroyed the flower beds in the community square. What they didn't know was we found our gate sawed open that morning. Somebody had let the goats loose on purpose. I stepped down from the porch and walked to the fence. Phones turned my way, and the crowd quieted. Marla stood there waving a folded notice, her face twisted in self-righteous fury. 5 minutes, Mr. Calloway, she snapped, or the cops are getting involved. That boy is going to answer for the damage. I didn't respond. Instead, I calmly opened the gate. Hanging from the post was my badge. Her eyes locked on it, and the color drained from her face. I'm not just a resident, I said flatly. I'm a law in this town. And what you're doing, it's harassment. She didn't skip a beat. How convenient. A cop investigating his own family. That's the exact corruption the Alliance was formed to stop. But I'd seen her game before. She was all bark, no bite, until you laid your guard down. And now she was trying to scare my son into confessing something he didn't do. Eli was a good kid, loved animals, helped me feed and clean every morning without complaint. He'd never leave a gate open, not by accident, and definitely not on purpose. And the more I looked at Marla and her ridiculous demands, the clearer it became. This was no misunderstanding. This was a setup. Then she did something that nearly made me laugh, if it wasn't so twisted. She pulled out her phone and set a countdown timer, right there in front of everyone, like this was a game show. "Tick-tock, deputy," she sneered. "Let's see if your badge saves you when the state comes knocking." I walked back to Eli and wrapped an arm around him. "You didn't do anything wrong, son," I told him quietly. "You're not the problem. She is." He nodded, eyes full of tears he was trying hard to blink away. That was the moment I knew I had to stop playing defense. Inside the house, I made a call to my old friend and fellow officer, Valerie Tran. "I need you to check into Marla Jennings," I told her. "There's something off about her. She's done this before." Sure enough, by the next morning, Valerie had dug up enough to blow things wide open. Marla had been working with a private real estate developer. Her goal? Push out enough neighbors to lower the land value. Buy cheap, sell high. Eli and I were just the latest targets. Then, things escalated again. While I was at work, Eli texted, "Dad, she's back. She's at the gate." Said weird stuff about my future. I raced home. There she was, Marla, alone this time, holding a file folder and trying to charm my kid into thinking she was just looking out for him. She was suggesting Eli would have a better chance at life if he lived elsewhere, with someone more responsible. That was it. I told her to leave. Firmly, without yelling, without threatening, just power in my voice and in my stance. She left, but not before tossing out one more threat. "You'll see. Your boy's future doesn't belong here." Later that day, Eli handed me a recording. She said some messed up stuff, Dad. I didn't know what else to do. I was proud. My kid had thought on his feet. And the next time Marla tried to pull a stunt involving a media circus at our driveway, I was ready. What she didn't expect was that Eli's recording, plus Valerie's file on her shady land deals, would end up in the hands of a local reporter. That changed everything. Neighbors who once stayed silent started speaking up. And when Marla tried to rally the alliance against us at the next meeting, the whole room turned on her. Especially after Dorothy Manners, an 80-year-old who'd been in town longer than anyone, played a clip of Marla threatening to have her declared senile just to force a home sale. Within a week, Marla was facing charges, fraud, intimidation, and endangering a minor. The state took it from there. Eli, he got a public apology at the next community meeting. I got my badge back. Now, we turned our farm into something better, a youth camp for kids who've been through tough times. Eli came up with the name Clearfield Ranch, a place where no one gets bullied and everyone gets a second chance. Looking back, it's wild to think how one woman's hunger for control nearly shattered everything my son and I had built. But in trying to destroy us, Marla Jennings revealed something she never saw coming. Our strength. Not the kind that wears a badge or carries a title, but the kind that digs in, holds tight, and doesn't flinch when the storm hits. Eli stood tall through it all. He recorded the truth when it mattered, spoke up when adults around him froze, and held his ground against someone twice his size and 5 times as vicious. I've worn a uniform for 20 years, but my son showed me what real courage looks like. When Marla was finally arrested, it wasn't just a win for our family. It was a wake-up call for the entire town. People started talking. Neighbors who once kept their heads down found their voices. The so-called Neighborhood Alliance dissolved within a month, and a new community council was voted in, this time without backroom deals or personal agendas. Clearfield Ranch has since become more than a farm. It's a place of healing. Every week, kids who've been bullied, isolated, or overlooked come out to the open fields, help with the animals, and remember what it feels like to breathe freely. No rules about fence paint. No threats over flower beds. Just open sky, honest work, and people who care. We even started weekend retreats for single parents and their kids. Turns out, we weren't the only ones who've been targeted by power-hungry neighborhood tyrants. And every time a parent tells me, "We thought we were alone," I tell them the same thing. You're not. Not anymore. The first time Eli stood up in front of a group and told our story, he finished by saying, "Don't let anyone make you feel small on your own land. If it's your home, stand up for it." There wasn't a dry eye in the barn that day. As for Marla, she's serving time. No more HOA meetings. No more threats. Just orange scrubs and a daily reminder that bullying doesn't pay when people fight back. And while I know life will always throw new challenges, I sleep easier now. Not because justice was served, but because I know Eli's safe. We protected each other. We built something better from the wreckage. This wasn't just about keeping our ranch. It was about reclaiming our lives. And now, we help others do the same. One kid, one family, one voice at a time. The day we hung the wooden sign that read Clearfield Ranch, a place to belong, Eli helped me hammer in the last nail. He stood back, hands on his hips, squinting up at it like he was sizing up the future. "Looks right," he said, and it did. We didn't just survive Marla. We transformed because of her. What she meant for harm became the spark for something greater. Every child who laughs under our roof, every letter of thanks we get, is proof that resilience beats fear, and kindness, when backed by grit, is unstoppable. This is just our beginning.